think we're live now. Hello,
Hi.
welcome to another AMA. This time,
Are we on this?
yeah, we're on that mic. You want to move it into the middle. As usual, if you can't hear us or if the sound's terrible, tell us and we'll try and fix it. But yeah, so this AMA is we're going to do a shipping update. Well, just let you guys know what's going on with the February batch. We'll answer. We've got some questions. Whilst you're watching, if you've got any questions, feel free to post them in the chat and we'll keep an eye on it. And then, as usual, after the questions, we'll do some of the demo stuff. If there's any demo things you want to see, wait until after we've done some of the questions, if that's okay, and then we'll get around to sitting on Ableton and doing bits and bobs on there. So,
when was the last time we did an AMA?
It was a few weeks ago. Me and David did one about a month ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which was...
Was that whilst we were at NAM?
Yeah, it was just me and David, and we just did...
Did we show this?
We did technical stuff. Oh no, yeah, we've
show
got...
this.
This is our Best at NAM award.
Whoop whoop.
For high-tech innovation, not Best at NAM full stop.
We got an award whilst we were out in NAM. It was
Yeah.
our first ever NAM. We actually, I don't know if anyone is watching now or will watch at some point that saw us, but we were actually able to meet quite a few people that had either backed us on the Kickstarter or Indiegogo or had purchased for this shipment that's going out. So that was really cool.
Yeah, that video from Music Radar is up on YouTube. If you search Music Radar Vochlea, it will come up. Future magazine, I think. But yeah, so you can watch that. Yeah.
And we're also off to South by Southwest, or at least some of us will be. We're working it out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we'll fill that in another one.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so we announced that as well. Yeah, we're finalists there for the Innovation Awards.
it's the music
Innovation.
and audio something. I'll move on to the shipment update.
Yeah.
So I was actually supposed to go down to the warehouse, but I didn't. Kelly and David went down. The microphones for shipment 2 have arrived, hooray! But they haven't been unpacked yet because there's a bit of a backlog. So we're probably going to go down again next week. We haven't booked the date yet, just to make sure that they're all fine, and then they'll start getting shipped out. So when's the soonest that they might actually be shipped out?
Sort of like around the 17th, perhaps. Sort of like early next week. Oh no, not. I mean, hold on. When's the 17th?
Well, it's the 13th
What day
today.
are we on now? 13th today. So you know about. Well, yeah, it's 17th to 20th. I think was our estimate. So we're gonna, like you said, we're gonna go down again and check through those. And once
They've
we've done-
arrived, but then we need to inspect them before we ship them out,
Yeah.
because otherwise we don't know exactly what's going out. So we'll go and do like some sampling, and then we'll ship them out.
Yeah.
And they'll go on general sale.
Yes. Yeah, so the pre-orders end on the 16th, and then after that date, the price will be going up ever so slightly. But if you want to save on that, then I'd recommend getting in before that, so you've got a few days left. And then after that point, yeah, we'll be going on general sale. Yeah, and they'll be shipped out as they're ordered, basically. But for this pre-order lot, yeah, we've got a few days left, and they'll be on their way shortly.
Cool.
Yeah, so we get questions from that a lot. So all your February people, it's coming. It's soon. It's inbound.
It depends, I guess, where you are located around the world when exactly it will arrive. But
Yeah.
they'll be going out. Yeah, they'll be shipped. They'll be out of our doors within the next week. You'd have thought.
I think it is 5 to 7 days for Europe and 7 to 10 days for the rest of the world in general. There's obviously sometimes it might be stopped at a customs thing or might be a post office somewhere or various bits and bobs. But
It's all tracked as well.
Yeah, but that's
a
the
tracking number.
Yeah, you'll get email tracking numbers.
Do you want me
as
to
they're
read
on
these
as well.
out?
Yeah, sure. So we'll
Okay.
go to the questions we had on the forums. As mentioned, if you've got any questions, then post them in the chat. Hello, Zachary. How's it going?
So Fred says, how to start with my Vochlea and how to be productive very quickly.
Yeah, so this is one of those things where the doubler shooter kit is a brand new thing and it does take a bit of time to get into the flow of working with doubler. So I guess how to be productive very quickly. There's a few bits and bobs on our help page. I guess one technique or tip that I think is quite good, I think the beatboxing side is something that's really new to a lot of people. and it's something that takes a bit of time to get being productive with making beats with your voice. So I think something can be good, like before you start training triggers, is to like do a flow of like multiple beats at once, like you normally would in your head when you're going like, and just sit and do that for just a short amount of time, and like actually think about what sounds you're making, like break those sounds down, and then once you have an idea of those sounds, start putting them into triggers, like what's what. So because sometimes you can just dive straight into doing a trigger and you actually haven't thought, what is that sound, or what do I want to use? So just like how you sit and make a beat, however it is you do it, whether it's your hands and you're clapping or your mouth and beatboxing, like just do that for a little bit and then think about that, and then I think that speeds up the process maybe in getting those triggers down. I
think as well, if you're not someone that's been beatboxing and stuff like that before on the triggers, this is still just on the triggers side. I found it particularly useful at the start of getting used to doubler, and also I found when we've done testing with people, keep retraining your examples at the start a lot, because what's going to happen is you're going to create, the very first time you'll say, I'll create 3 triggers, I'll have one that's and then I'll have one that's, and then you train all that, and then you start using it for the first time, and what you find is the sounds that you're making kind of in stream are very slightly different to the sounds that you taught it, and then you want to go, oh, okay, I've started to learn. So like literally 5 minutes in, retrain it again. Half an hour in, retrain it again. And then now, I find I basically don't need to retrain it at all. Yeah. But like in that first day of use, just keep retraining it a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And then I guess for the pitch thing, in terms of getting in quickly, one thing is just like pick a bit of a key lock, get a note restriction down, restrict your notes, and just start putting the melodies in and see what you get out. Really, it's one of those things that is quite quick. So just recommend just jumping into the pitch side of things by just putting a note restriction on, singing some melodies, and see how it reacts to your synths and stuff. Yeah.
But I would try put the restriction on, because when you first go in, new profile, no triggers, all the notes in chromatic, and so the first thing you want to do is add some triggers and then put some kind of restriction on.
Yeah.
I'll go to the next one, otherwise it's going to take us ages. Sorry. Diego says, what about using the mic in a live situation as audio signal? Dynamics, color? I plan to use it in a hybrid setup.
Yeah, so the mic, we get this question a lot as well. So the mic can be used for audio as well, but it's not its main primary purpose. We think of it as a MIDI controller, but it can also take audio in. Some people use it to record audio in and stuff, but it's, if you put it next to a SM58 or something, it's not gonna be as good as a proper recording mic like that.
Well, also, if you put it next to an SM58, you're not just putting it next to an SM58. You're putting it next to an SM58 plus whatever audio interface you're plugging that SM58 into. Yeah. So maybe you're using, a Universal Audio Apollo, you're using a Focusrite or something like that. For the doubler microphone, the entire audio interface is built into here on purpose, so that then all the levels are always consistent for every user that uses the doubler microphone. The audio input's always going to be the same. So if you're comparing it against a bigger vocal mic and then a proper dedicated audio interface, it's obviously not going to be the same.
That being said, it's not crap. We're not trashing it. I think
that's true.
It's pretty. I think it's usable as a recording thing. We can give you a very brief example if I mute this.
Yeah.
Is that taking audio in? So I'm just going to mute the room mic. So this is you should just be hearing me talking into the mic as usual. And although we can't hear what it's like, the audio should be going in. The quality should be, if this is all right, should be pretty good. It's quite clear. I'm not shouting, and we're in quite a reverby room right now. But yeah, that's.
Dulcet tones.
And I have very mumbly low registers. So that,
One thing I'm going to put in this, by the way, is that it's not completely consistent how you can use the doubler microphone for audio, depending on if you're Mac or PC. So basically, either way, you can always use it with doubler, and you can always use it as an audio microphone. It's not like a locking thing.
Yeah.
But if you're using doubler on Windows, you can't do the two simultaneously. So you can either use it as an audio microphone, or you can use it when you're using it with doubler, but you can't do both at the same time. And the reason for that is actually very specific. It's because we've created a custom ASIO driver for this microphone in order to keep the latency low. And so when you open doubler and it sees the doubler microphone, we take priority over the microphone and say we're controlling this microphone. So that means if your DAW also is trying to use that microphone, it can mess things up, and then you might get more latency with doubler. Yeah. So you can use them independently. On Mac, we don't have the same issue because we don't have to do a custom ASIO driver.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, it's kind of linked to, there's a question in the chat before it gets away from New Original who says, I mean, you guys can read it right now, but are you considering any drivers for standalone boxes such as the Muse Receptor or anything that allows you to get away from a Mac or PC environment? It's not something we've really thought of at the moment. I mean, who's to say in the future, but it's one of those things where, you know, at the moment we're focused on getting this Mac or PC as good as it can be. And then who knows, maybe in the future there could be a way where it's some sort of standalone thing. There could be even like some sort of like Raspberry Pi type thing where it's, you know, standalone on different stuff. Who knows where it could go.
That would be amazing, but just to be clear, that's not happening in the next few months.
No, all these things are like, you know, our priority is Mac and PC to get it down, and then...
Yeah, we got a whole pipeline of work going on at the moment. Yeah. So for those that don't have doubler yet and that's still waiting on the arrival in February, since the first users got it in October or whatever, we've continued to launch updates. Now at the moment most of these updates have been reasonably minor from a user interaction and usability point of view. You'll notice a few things, but certainly that's our approach, is to just keep putting stuff out there, and we're working on some bigger things, but we won't go into any detail on that now because they're still very much in development.
Yeah, secrets.
So to read the next one.
Yeah, this next one's in quite a big one in a few parts, where he's got a few questions up until this one. These were from the same guy. But.
Right, so this is from Nico, who says, I'm going to break this up into bits for you.
Yeah.
There are also some ideas that I've reformulated into questions. I don't expect you to answer them all. That's nice, but we'll see how far we get.
We'll try it best.
Will MIDI 2 or MIDI 2.0 improve the performance of doubler?
Right, so yeah, for anyone watching who doesn't know, MIDI 2.0 is on the way. MIDI, as we know, is sort of like been in its first thing since the 80s or whatever, and MIDI 2.0 is now on the way. And so that has a few different like new features and new things. So I guess the question is about how will that work with doubler? I guess the first thing to say is that MIDI 2.0 is still in its very early days, and there's still a lot of the stuff that they're even working out and finishing off, and you know, all that kind of thing. So it's a bit of time before all these things will be finalised.
And that's not just, I mean, because that's true, right? But stage one is that the MIDI protocol, MIDI 2.0, gets finalised and rolled out, or that it might come in stages. But that's step one, and then you've got step two is that anybody actually starts to use it. And to be honest, we might start using it, but it doesn't make any difference because Ableton, Logic, Reaper, Reason, all of these DAWs, they don't. It's going to take them a while to actually make any use of it. Yeah,
I mean, that being said, if you're talking like theoretical stuff, say MIDI 2.0 and Ableton, everyone's using it, and how might it integrate into doubler? There's various things you thought about. I mean, these are all just ideas, but so MIDI 2.0 is backwards compatible. I'm reading up notes here. David has left some handy notes for me. And so that means we can take information from DAWs easier and more fluid. So we could take things in like BPM information, or we could take things like latency information. And this information, I don't know, there's things we could think about, interesting ways, you know, if there was a BPM incoming from your DAW and that MIDI was coming in, then you could wear some sort of syncing up feature that was easy. Or
there's definitely some like latency stuff that we can do in auto quantization. It'd be nice to be able to set it the other way though. I mean, obviously you already have the kind of tap feature for setting the BPM, but what would be nice is if you could just start like a stream of beatboxing and it sets, or you start singing in a key and it sets that key and it sets that BPM in your DAW and stuff like that. Will just be, you can, you know, with VSTs and stuff like that, we've looked into it, you can do some of these things, but with MIDI 2.0 it's going to be easier.
Yeah. Another thing as well is that MIDI 2.0 also has profile support, meaning that certain devices can have profiles, which mean that us and other similar things, we can have like a MIDI profile, which means it's quicker and easier for when you plug in to get all the settings and various different things kind of loaded up and ready. So it's sort of like It's kind of, you get that a bit already. Say if you plug in a certain interface, like an Akai, launchpad or something, it will know what it is and it will set it up quickly. Similar thing where we could have a profile, and that would set things up.
Exciting times.
Yeah.
I'm going to move on to the next part. If it turns out that the pitch of the vocals cannot be converted 100%, I'll leave you to interpret what that means in a second. Yeah. Will you consider introducing a MIDI FX plugin that receives the MIDI data from Doubler and cleans it automatically offline, and maybe gives the option to modulate the recorded chords, etc.?
Yeah, so this is something we've obviously thought about. So in that, you're talking about not real time, talking about recording pitching. There's something that is cleaning up MIDI, and you drag it into your DAW or whatever afterwards.
Yeah.
This is something to think about. Again, we're not going to go too in detail about all our ideas and stuff with this kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it's something, that idea is something we've thought about, and it might not come in the form of a sort of a MIDI effects plugin or something, but a system perhaps that is cleaning, that might give you the option to put in cleaned up MIDI information in afterwards, or like our thing is real time, and that's what we're focusing on. But yeah, that idea is something that is in our periphery, and we've got on the cards. I don't want to say too much because I'm scared I would say something I shouldn't say. That's...
Yeah, there's a million things we'd like to do, and we'll definitely do a good number of them, but not all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to quick fire questions. Will there be a sustain knob to hold while breathing?
Possibly. Again, one of those ideas.
Would it be theoretically possible, sometime in the distant future, it's nice that it's distant, and that theoretically possible, I can answer this question, yes, really, to run Doubler through a DSP supported system, interface a Doubler mic with DSP core to have zero latency, like when using auto-tune?
So, I guess initially there is no such thing as zero latency. Latency is a fight we're fighting.
Yeah.
It is impossible to achieve zero latency. The buffer size, there will always be a little bit.
Well, buffer size, time for audio to travel from the mouth to the microphone, processing speed of whatever script you're running is. Yeah,
but I mean, we are currently working on reducing it in all different ways. So it's as we speak.
Something in the works.
Yeah, as we speak, there's something going to reduce latency wherever we can, and we will be getting there. I'm hoping we'll reduce it more and more.
I'm not entirely sure on the second part or first part of that question. I mean, Doubler is we have a DSP pipeline within Doubler. DSP being digital signal processing, so anything that's going into a computer and is audio is going through some DSP, something or other. So certainly that's part of that chain is, as Liam said, to do with what kind of buffer size you're running, which can obviously it is one of, but not the only influence on latency. Next question from Rosha. What exactly is the doubler? From my understanding, I can sing some of my original melodies and it will convert it to MIDI instruments. Exactly. That's it. You can sing your melodies, hum melodies, make beats, and it converts that in real time into MIDI information. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Yeah.
Nikki, are there future plans for an XLR version of Doubler or some kind of Doubler converter box for XLR mics?
No,
not really. I mean, it's USB because, we spoke about it before, we have the interface inbuilt and the interface is going to the computer. And so it's all part of this, like the USB thing is part of the mic interface integration.
But I mean, to be fair, right, although we don't sell Doubler as a standalone software, and we don't do that because we can't guarantee that it will work with every combination of microphone and audio interface. And the last thing we want is in our limited team trying to do diagnostic support on all these pieces of equipment that we don't really know. But so that's where we have it with the Doubler mic that we do know and that we can profile and we can make sure that it all set up and works well with that. But that said, we have had people using it with other microphones, and we don't say, oh God, don't do that. You absolutely give that a go. We just don't guarantee. We don't know if it'll work. We don't guarantee it. So if you want to use it with a specific XLR mic, you're probably going to have to mess around with the gain levels on your audio interface and stuff like that. And like I say, please don't come back to us and say, oh, it doesn't really work very well, because we don't know, because we haven't tested it. But It might. I think it might work.
Yeah, if you have an XLR mic and you can, find a way of hooking it up, give it a go and see what results you get.
Well, it'll still have to go via something, right?
Yeah, exactly. You'd have to go. I mean, but there's ways. Nick says, I'm just going to load up this thing because it's going to take bloody age.
Do you want me to ask them what this is?
Yeah, go on. So Nick says something. We're going to skip Max. He's asking for...
Yeah, Nick says, will it be possible to reinstall the Doubler software if we need to replace our computer in the next year or so, but sticking with the same operating system?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can download Doubler on as many machines as you want, whenever you want. Like, that's available to download from our website. But the thing is that when you register, you have a profile, you have a sign-in, you have your username and password. So basically, whatever you download it on, if you log in your profile, then you can use it on that machine. It can only be used on one machine at a time. But if you've got a new computer or even a different computer, if you log in...
Yeah, you can even change operating system. If you want to change between Mac and PC, you can do that.
Yeah. So, should we go on to demos? Mac has asked, can you do a full song? I will not make a full song because we'll be here all day if I tried to make a song. But we can make a bit of a beat and we can sit in Ableton and make some stuff. And I'll just chat about it.
You say we, you.
I will.
I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, so let me change so you can see. We've got screen in both, so you can watch us.
Hey, that's
also
cool.
doing that, yeah. So I've got Doubler open up here. I've also got some sounds that I put in already because you don't want to see the bit about production where you just go through lots and lots of different sounds until you reach one you want.
Maybe one day there'll be a great way to search through those sounds.
Perhaps. But so I've just got some drums and stuff and some synths, and we'll make a little thing. I've got a kit here. Let me know how the sound is.
Can we see Doubler, or is that going to confuse you as well?
No, let's put Doubler in. Here's Doubler. I've now got 5 triggers, which is good for me. I'm still in the process of, I'm getting there, but 5 triggers. I used to use 4 for ages. Now I'm on 5. I've used, so...
What's your fifth? Oh, that's nice. That was one of my favourite, they're kind of having 2 kind of bassy sounds.
So, I mean, in that kit, I've put in lots of different woods and percussions. I'm using but it's just part of my flow, and I've moved those different, blocks around. I've set 150 BPM because we should go fast. Sorry, I'm just checking on the chat. We'll just answer this question before we get into this beat making. Marcelo says, for programming percussion, for example, on a V instrument that has a full 88 keys, is there a fast way to select which notes on the keyboard get triggered? So, I mean, sorry if I'm not interpreting this right. So you have a full 88 keyboard, and you have obviously the different octaves. So I guess on the triggers.
I don't know what qualifies as fast, but am I going to do this? I don't. Okay, can you get me to Doubler? Yeah. All right. So I don't know if this qualifies as fast or not, but when you add a new trigger, or if you've already got one you want to edit it, you click on the trigger that you want to edit, and then here you can change what note you want. So here you can see drum 1 is currently going to note 36. So does it have the full 88? Oh, it's got more than that. Yeah. It's got the full range, and in brackets there, that's the kind of traditional MIDI protocol, what you would expect, what sample you would expect to find in that position. But obviously that's not always the case. But on more analog things or external hardware, you will probably find that note 36 is a kick drum, for example. Anyway, I don't know if that answers your question. Is that how you interpret it?
The quickest way of going through all those things that on an 88 keyboard would just be select those different ones. You could try different experimental things as well, where you've got a trigger, or you're going in at C1. If you want to quickly change it, you could automate a MIDI effect that has 12 steps up and on a different vowel or something. So you wanted to go a step up instantly, you trigger it on with a vowel, and now you're not doing a C1, you're doing a C2, which goes to a different note. So there's like different interesting ways you could mess around.
You can do that with the triggers as well. So if you know, you could teach one of the triggers, say you make it into a click or something like that, and then you can map that in something like Ableton, so that when you click, it changes what MIDI channel you're going to. So you can change drum rack completely.
Yeah. All right, let's make a beat.
Kick it.
Yeah. All right, what we got? What's this? This is the speed I reckon we're going at. Okay. So we're gonna start. We'll just lay down something simple and layer it up on these drums and see where we get at. Like. All right. I'm just gonna make that. Start that a bit late, let's move that along and then make it a 4-bar. I've also got record quantization on, so you notice that is quantized straight away. I'm going to the trick, I'm not that good.
If you hadn't told me that, I was sitting there thinking, so I've been doing this for ages, I can't get it anywhere nice.
So when, as you put stuff in, it's basically putting it on 16th notes straight away, so you get the rhythm in. And then sort of like, and then we just layer some stuff up on top, I guess. Pretty sort of, I don't know, slightly, let's make it slightly crazy and add a bit of delay.
I've been revisiting the original Crash Bandicoot games remastered for Nintendo Switch, and this beat is reminiscent of that.
Could you record some pluck synth sounds? Well, lucky for you, up next we have a plucky synth sound. So this is just a massive synth. Ba, 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 ba. It's quite percussive, so it's not taking like length or anything, but you just hit the initial note and it's pitched, so you can like let me show you double. So this is pitched instrument, it's taking my notes and boom 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 boom. Yeah, so let's record something with that, like boom 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 boom. Alright. The beat's cooking, it's cooking, we're getting there. Up next, already a vibe, thanks man. So I've also got, this one is for, if you're listening on laptop speakers, you might not hear this. I think I like the idea of putting a big boomy kick under it as well, like. Might not be able to hear it, it's quite basic.
Yeah. We're sitting with KLKs.
Maybe too low. Let's crash and let's hold on, we're gonna do some EQing here. Let's get rid of some of the lows on that one. Alright. And now, so I've got another synth here. And what I've done on this synth is this filter cutoff here. I've mapped to an R vowel, and so as I'm sort of making different sounds, like bow bow bow, when it's that R's coming in and out, the cutoff's going in, it's like bow 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 bow, and it's just giving some movement to it. And it's one of those things that you can get more accurate. We've got another synth where I've got another cutoff sort of map that's a bit more accurate. But this is one of those things where it kind of sounds like boom, boom, boom. Your hair has a bit of movement in it, so naturally you go like bow, 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 and just adds a bit of cut off.
I'm not going to put it in, I'll just do this.
Go on, go for it. So it just
So that's the difference. Da 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 dee 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 da dee 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 dee.
yeah.
Nice.
So someone asked to see the MIDI of what we just recorded in. So there it is. There's, this note probably wasn't supposed to be here. There's occasionally, going da-da-da. There might be odd note there, but on the whole, that's, sort of what it's doing. But let's record another.
Yeah, I mean, there is. We're not going to claim there's never any cleanup to do, particularly if you're doing something that's rapid and percussive sounding.
Yeah. I'll just improvise some stuff and we'll record that in. The rhythm of that's a bit off. I think because it's
Start, yeah.
Let's move those on there. Oh, it's a bit too. Yeah. That's one of those things where, like, when you have record quantization on, I maybe should have turned it off for that, or like put it on 32 instead of 16. Because that sometimes, it might move it where my flow is different. But yeah. Or we can also layer on. Let's change the octave and doubler. And we can layer on some like lower ones like boom, 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 boom.
See how that comes out.
The rhythm of that was a bit off. Alright, let's get rid of those low notes. It was better without. It was better
Going
without.
so nicely.
Let's sort of. There you go, there's that 4/4 kick. So then, got a pad here to layer on top. Again, so here I've mapped the filter. So this is more of a long drawn out like. Oh no, I've got the octave still down.
So you've mapped something on this filter frequency here as well?
So I've mapped the R vowel to the filter frequency. So for these longer drawn out ones, something that melodically isn't quite interesting, like da dee ya. As I open up those vowels, you can just modulate it a bit. It makes it a bit more interesting putting pad things in like that. Yeah.
And you're recording all the automation, right?
Yeah, and so the automation will go in. I'll show you after we record this. And like, so there are those notes I've just spit in. And if I go to the automation here, you see all this stuff is the filter going up and down. If I re-enable that. It's doing Ableton's doing a bit of well, Ableton's doing that annoying remap thing, so I went on that. But well, anyway.
It's because you're still sending out.
Yeah. And then if I just put that.
Chill vibes.
There's a beat. We can't make a full song because we'd be here forever rearranging that. But you can turn different things off. They can get a bit more interesting. Let's add tremolo on this thing.
I don't suggest we do it now, but all of these dials here you could also map to vowel sounds, right?
Yeah, so like if I open up this, all this stuff's MIDI mappable. You see the things I've mapped here before, and I can map any of those to a vowel up here. So you know, if you want like, you want to put that tremolo in with the I, you can do those sort of things.
In any of that, did you use the envelope?
Oh no, I'm unable to connect to chat. Can you check?
Are we still streaming?
We're still streaming. It says we're live, but the chat. Kelly, can you check the chat, please?
The chats. Yeah.
And check it's all live and all good.
It seems all good to me.
What was the last message?
The last message is from a guy called Marcelo. I do music for animation.
No, we don't have
got
that. So for some reason, well, Kelly, what's
Okay,
that? It
where
says
did
we're
you
live.
get up to? Okay.
We got up to.
How did the melody? So we showed.
How did MIDI melody tracks look?
from Nico.
From
Nico, how did the melody?
Oh, okay. And then so the next one is that I do music for animation, so I input a bunch of notes like short strings and horn melody notes, choir, etc.
Yeah.
Wondering how it would work a bit more in that realm with orchestra and
Well,
choir.
Yeah,
one of the things I was just saying actually was wondering whether or not Liam had used the envelope dial.
Yeah, well, so let's do that. Let's put in some of the more orchestral stuff, and that's where the envelope, I think, really gets really expressive. Let's put in contact and get do a flute. I think flutes quite work well with the envelope because you get that feeling, blowing air in harder is something that I think naturally translates to these envelope sounds. So
Cool.
Let's load that up. Excuse my slow computer when it loads contact. It's trying its best.
In the meantime,
yeah.
have we got any more questions, or was that it?
Another one was that someone else also on Instagram said, I'm not sure if this is the same person, about choir or strings, sort of orchestral kind of stuff. It's something we get a lot of. We'll load in. Let's go flute. I think the cool thing about the flute is that envelope is mappable. I think it already has it automatically. Let me just change this to
Nibbler.
So you have to go an octave up to.
Yeah, it's already mapped.
Yeah. And turn that up.
Can I see doubler? Because I need to know what notes I'm trying to sing.
Yeah. Yeah, so in that,
you interrupted me. I was going.
Sorry. So in that last thing we made, it was very much like short percussive synthy sounds, and it was a lot of just inputting mid notes, getting ideas down. But there's a lot of expressive stuff like envelope and also velocity and things. So when you're doing more nuanced orchestral stuff, you can get really more in depth with it. And I'm not going to ask George if we can compose an orchestral piece right now.
I think that's a wise idea.
Yeah. There's also things like chords as well. So you've got the it's a lot more. I've got it set to me. No, I'm just. Let me turn it down on there a little bit. And so, what am I doing? In doubler, so there's chords as well, so if you want to turn on chords.
Very Philip Glass.
Yeah, I'm just clipping on. So you can get very expressive, those really quiet,
And this is just how it's been as soon as we opened the VST, right? So you could even fine tune that if you want to put a specific range on it, or indeed if you wanted to also have one of the other vowels controlling something.
Someone also, what was it, specifically asked for choir stuff as well. So,
I really like controlling the choir sounds through Doubler because there's something that's like ridiculous about singing in to get singing out.
Choir. So we've got bass, tenor, alto, soprano, or just choir, and then they've got different vowels that I guess they're singing. This isn't the best choir plugin in the world.
Do you think you could actually
vowel
map
morphs, R, E, I, O, U.
Exactly. Do you think you could map the vowel sounds to? You could have all of them going, right? You map the vowel sounds to the volume of each vowel that the choir's making.
We can give it a go.
I don't think we should give it a go now, especially based on how your laptop might cope with having 4 instances of contact.
4 lots of contact. I mean, let's just load this in so you can hear. Oh God, analysing samples. I don't think I've loaded this up before, so it's having to go through all the paces. Oh God, I think we're stuck in now. I might just. Right, if it's going to do it soon, it's getting there.
It's going to do it. I've each time.
It's doing that. There we go.
There we go.
Right, we're up.
Sweet.
Ba, ba.
Oh, and it's so beautiful. It was worth
my
it.
horrible low rumbly voice turned into angels instantly. Ba. That's a lot better than how I normally sound. So that's kind of fun. I'm really annoyed about our chat.
Any
Can you
questions?
keep an eye on the chat?
So,
We can't, for some reason,
someone
our live
again is
chat.
asking about update on shipping of the product. And somebody else is saying, I also missed the update on shipping.
Yep.
So maybe next we've got shipping
The,
update.
the quick little update on shipping is, well, I was supposed to go, but I didn't go. But Kelly and David went down to our fulfillment centre down in Southampton a few days ago, right? This week. And the microphones have arrived, but they're yet to be unpacked. There's a bit of a backlog there, so we're going to go back probably early next week to go and see, because they need to repack them to make sure all the download codes are put in for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go back, we'll check on them, we'll sample a few and give them a bit of a test. And providing that that's all good, then they will be shipped out from next week, I guess, probably from like the 17th or something like that. I can't give a specific date because it depends how quickly they get through that. But it's going to be they're going to be leaving our fulfillment centre within a week.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. When they're on the way, you'll get emailed a tracking info, so you'll know when it's on its way to you because you'll get the email. And it will just have everything you need. So wait until that email comes, I'd say, and that should be hopefully, in the next week or so. But that is the shipping. We also mentioned that obviously it would depend on where you are in the world and to how long it takes to get delivered. Europe is generally, they say, 5 to 7 days. Rest of the world, 7 to 10 days. There's obviously lots of different things that could happen, customs, all this stuff, but that's generally the timescale it works in.
Although generally, obviously all of you guys have bought one, you've all paid, depending on where you are based, some kind of shipping charge. And we spent that money and some more on shipping. So it's going to be tracked. It's all like using the best providers. We haven't had any instances where we know of where it's ended up taking, a month to get somewhere. It's all pretty quick once they're out the door, and you'll get a tracking number so you can see.
Yeah. Sorry, we can't. Our chat is disconnected. So if anyone's chatting, we keep having to ask.
Okay. So a few more comments. Choir. Can you accurately sing a scale?
Right. George might be able to. Let
me try.
I can't sing a scale for the life of me. Should we go back to a normal, or do you want to do it in a choir? Or
let's do it in a choir. Let's
do it in a choir. So this is currently on.
I tell you what we'll do. Better still, let's set a thing.
Yeah.
So here, we've actually done it. It's set on C minor. If I try and sing a scale in chromatic, it will be a mess because I'm not a particularly good singer. But if I try and do it in C minor, we might get some better results.
Yeah.
Going too high there. Okay. What have I got this? You can go all the way around the... Are we wanting MIDI output notes here, or are we just singing the notes?
Well, he's just asking to sing it. There is, so... It's taking info from the triggers there, so...
that was it.
But if you're... Oh, I didn't have the screen on. Let's do it to both. So, yeah, there is a post on our forum. Someone asked that.
You're saving me, man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
If you go to our forum, forum.vochlea.co.uk, I think it's probably the top post at the moment. But someone asked about that, and we did a recording where you can see the MIDI and the audio at the same time, where George is able to learn the scale and sing it.
You see, what happens is, for me anyway, you sing in one a bit and then you get used to it, and so we've just been using a pentatonic, and now I'm there going da 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 da, I'm skipping all every second. Anyway, but yes, there is a video up there that shows it being laid down in MIDI, and it was also completely fair as well. So you can see there's like a kind of slower step up, and then we do it double speed, and there are a couple of not hitting it bang on where the voice has not hit it bang on, but we left them in to illustrate it. Right?
Yeah. Also, it's done to a click as well, because someone was asking about like latency in particular. So I'm gonna actually see if I can. I'm just gonna see if I can get this. Pull the chat up on it. I don't know why I didn't think of this before. Just before we say goodbye, in case I'm missing. Right.
Close.
I don't think the choir goes that high. We're on 2 octaves up already.
It's the choir's fault.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
That was basically it. If you stay with us for an hour, by the end, next AMA, we do a scale.
My career as a singer is still alive.
If we were there for an hour, we might get there, but...
An hour?
If we practice for that long. But yeah, right, I think that's it. We made a little hot beat, we did some choir singing. That's the update. We'll do another AMA probably in a few weeks' time again.
Yeah, send us your questions.
So by then, most people have had their new kits. So all the February batch, you've had some kits, you probably had some ideas and all these bits and bobs. There'll be a whole new batch of you. God, there we go. My laptop. Yeah. So we'll do the usual bits. Take your questions. Do any demos that you guys want to see. But yeah, that'll be in another few weeks.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Send us your questions.
Again, talk to us on all our socials, forums. We're all there watching it all the time. So in between these AMAs, you want anything, drop us a message and we'll answer them. But yeah. All right. See you guys soon.
See ya. Bye.
End stream.